Just letting that ride out. Get a little energy going on here. Right on a Sunday. Come on. Ish. Seriously though, never serious. Make some noise if you're having a good time there on a Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Right here live. I'm making sure the stream's working, making sure that everything's up, making sure that it's all good. I think we are good. Looks like we're live. We are live. Thank you guys for tuning in right here on a Sunday. We are on episode 13. Episode 13, Beyond the Beats, the official SBX podcast. Thank you guys for tuning on in right here live today. We have a very special guest, a good friend of mine. I'm happy to go and have him on. But one more time, if you're having a good time out there, make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Come on! And today is a very, very special day. Before I go and even introduce our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, Swissbeatbox officially has over 1 billion views on YouTube. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 1 billion people. That means that people are paying attention to the scene. People love Swissbeatbox. People love beatboxing in general. And the person we're going to talk to today is a pioneer, someone that pushes the scene. And again, I'm very happy and excited to go introduce right now, live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, Beyond the Beats, Swissbeatbox, the official podcast coming at you live and direct right here on YouTube. If you like what you see, leave a comment, leave a like, share this around, tell your friends to tune in. If you have any questions at the end of the show, we will get to it. Maddox will suffer through them, make sure that he goes and find the best questions. So think about that while you're watching. But now, ladies and gentlemen, time to introduce to you the Beatbox champion of the world, aka CeDe with a C, aka your favorite beatboxer's favorite beatboxer, a producer, ladies and gentlemen, representing for Dopehox, representing for Muhlmann Productions. I hope I said that right, because my German is terrible, so is my Swiss German. But I hope you guys are having a good time, because right now in the building, ladies and gentlemen, we have Joe Marion, aka Zede, aka the world champ. Give him some noise, give him some love for Zede.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to go and have a good conversation today, representing for Switzerland. Once again, your favorite judge's judge, your favorite beatboxer's favorite beatboxer,
you already know,
pioneer,
man.
Producer, sings on hooks, been smashing it all around. But let's go and get into this right here, and we're going to find out what's happening this week on Beyond the Beats, ladies and gentlemen, with our good friend Zede, coming at you live and direct. One more time, make some noise. So, what's going on, man? How you doing? You feeling good?
So far, so good, yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting.
Yeah, I'm happy that you came on and accepted the invitation. It's good to have you on. You're someone that's always been pushing the scene, always been, I don't know, just always pushing it. I love to see that when people continue to go and just get better at beatboxing, figure out different ways to do it, and take that skill and really push it around the world, because you've been around the world doing this, and you've been really going and showing for the beatbox community. So we always appreciate that. I appreciate it too, seeing you coming to all these events, whether I get to see you in passing or get to go and hang out afterwards at events, but it's always nice to see you, man. So I'm happy that you came on, and welcome to Beyond the Beats. One more time, give it up for him. So yeah, most of the time I don't like wasting time, because time's a valuable thing, and I want to make the most of the time that we have together. So let's go and start this thing off by saying, in 2012 Emperor of the Mic interview, you said you started making noises as a kid. You always made noises, and you were doing the Donald Duck impression. And then came Michael Winslow, and you see Michael Winslow and your mind's blown, and you're like, whoa, what is this thing? And then at 12 or 13 years old, you hear Rozelle, and now that's the part that you really got interested in the beatbox scene. And I wanted to go and say, aside from just being a kid who, for most part, most kids when they start beatboxing, it's that like, oh, I can make a cool noise, or whoa, I want to try that or try this. What was it that made you really drawn to beatboxing itself?
Well, as a kid, when I didn't know what beatboxing was, it was just like having fun making noises. I don't know. I mean, a lot of kids, they do sound like or whatever, you know. But for me, it was always fun to imitate and to create sounds just for fun, you know. And then the first time when I heard beatboxing from Roselle, that just caught me, man. It was just something different than anything else, you know. Because when I as a young kid, I always wanted to play saxophone, but I never got into it. And so then I finally found something that you don't need an instrument for it. You can do it by your own. And I was so fascinated by it that I already knew this is my thing. So I copied Roselle all the time. And then I discovered a few other beatboxers like Killa Kella and Kenny Mohammed. And the rest, history.
Absolutely. And when you said that one of the things too that stuck out to you is when you heard Roselle, then you heard Kenny, and you heard Killa, and obviously knowing of Michael Winslow, something that was very important was having your own style and being unique and making it that it's yours. So you're not just sound like everybody else that's doing it or just doing everybody else's routines. That comes through in your style too, because when I first heard you personally, I was just like, whoa, this is like just a totally different way of thinking about beatboxing. And I was going to wonder, is there anything that kind of drew you into that style that you had for yourself? Is there a way that you can say, either than the music you listen to or maybe the beatboxers that originally inspired you, is there something that kind of drew that creativity out of your mind right off the top?
I think the first time I heard someone else than Roselle, that was like, okay, you can beatbox different as well. And it was Killa Kella. He was completely different than Roselle, right? They are total opposite what beatboxing style, from the beatboxing style aspect. And I realized, okay, they both sound so different. Roselle has more the powerful kicks and beats and bass, and Killa Kella has more the high-pitched, special weird sounds. So I just tried to play around with own sounds. I just realized, okay, I need to find my own sounds as well. And I think most of the time I definitely got inspired by the beatboxers. And from there on, it created something different. For example, the TKs was definitely inspired by Kenny Mohammed from his wind technique. So I took just a little part, like he makes, right? And he makes this, and I just had so much fun with this detail that I tried to play around with it, or Killa Kella made like, right? And I tried to make, and there I think there was the point where I started to create kind of like my own style, you know.
And when you so you start off, you listen to some of the, as I said, you listen to Roselle, Killa, Kenny, and you get this bass that you start beatboxing on. And I saw that in a couple of your songs, you said that your dad played guitar while you were producing it. And I've seen that in your studio itself, you obviously, right in the background there, you can see a keyboard. You can see that you have different instruments that you play whilst producing. And I was going to say, are you musically trained at all? Did you like go and have lessons, or can you play keyboard by itself, or is it something that you just picked up as you were going along?
I always learned everything by myself. It started from beatboxing. There was no real tutorials back then. There was like humanbeatbox.com was a huge forum where you were chilling around with other beatboxers. And also with instruments, keyboards, I just learned it from producing, from making beats, you know, playing melodies. And then I realized, oh, this note and this notes, they fit together. Okay. And from there, it evolved. Guitar, my father plays guitar. He definitely showed me like some tricks in the beginning. Like you should hold the guitar like this and you can make this chord. But from there on, I tried everything by myself. The same with bass. It's just like, as soon as I'm fascinated with something, with an instrument or anything, with playing games or you name it. I try to be good at it, and this is how I motivate myself to, to learn certain things.
And you can see that come out though in again in your style of production and beatboxing, that you have the technical aspect, but it's also the musicality that you have and the structure. And I find that that's something that you're throughout all the routines that you do, and just the way that you put it together. It's like very well thought out. It carries in between the two. It's interchangeable, And it's I was gonna ask too, when you first started out, other than when someone learns the basics, like most beginner beatboxers, you learn your bass kicks and your hi-hats and you start learning some sounds. Mm-hmm. But putting it together, what point did you start thinking about making routines and or not just going and being like, hey, do the beatbox thing, but being like, okay, hold on a second, let me go and put this like this, and put it into something that's actually a tangible routine?
Oh, actually, I don't really remember. I just know that in the beginning, I just copied everything, I think this is where I learned the basics of beatboxing, by copying Roselle, by copying everything. So I have the knowledge of the rhythm aspect and of kicks and snares and whatever. And it could be definitely before, but I remember when a friend told me, yo, there is a Swiss championships going on this was 2004, I think. And he said, yo, just register yourself there. Maybe you can join. So I registered myself. Then they told me, yes, I can join the battle. And I was like 15. Yeah, 15. I was around 15. And from there on, I know I have to prepare myself. I have to create some stuff that no other people does, and that is unique. And I think this was my first moment where I knew, okay, I have to create routines. I have to create something, that I can show on the stage or on the battle. And I think this was definitely the moment I can remember. I definitely did some routines, but I never really thought about, okay, now I have to make this structure or that. It just happened.
And 2004, you go into this Swiss Beatbox battle, the first Swiss Beatbox championship that was out there that I found. And I found that performance on you that you actually have. There's a video out there of you doing that in 2004. And the amount that you improved over the next 2 years when it came to the 2006 version of it, where you ended up winning the Swiss champs, crazy amount of improvement over the 2 years, like just to see it. But you said that was the first time you ever performed on a stage, was at the Swiss champs. So when you first rolled up there, did you know any other beatboxers beforehand, or were there beatboxers that you kind of had talked to online or seen online or had any idea, or was it just like, hey, there's a Swiss Beatbox championship going down, I'm just going to roll to that place and jump on stage and see what happens?
I didn't know anyone. I was like alone with my love to beatbox around my city and town, and all the people I knew from humanbeatbox.com forum, they were from other countries, and it was just me, myself, and I, and my father also joined with me to that journey, to that Swiss champs. And I didn't know anyone. It was like really just new. And I was like, oh, there are so many other Swiss beatboxers. They also do beatbox. Oh, okay, that's nice. And they were like, I don't remember, like 20 or 30 beatboxers. And Koimat was there, and Knackebul was there, a few names from Switzerland, and Camero, and Giaccolo Claudio, who is the organizer of GBB. He also was there. I think he made second place. And Ben Riyad won that battle, definitely. Pretty much alone. I was so hyped as well,
And what was the reaction jumping on stage after beatboxing, as you said, when you're walking around, doing it in the shower, doing it in your hometown, but then jumping on a stage and having your peers who are other beatboxers? How did that make you feel to go and be like, wow, there's more people that are like me? And also, how did it make you? How was it received by the audience and the judges and people? Because at 15 or 14, you're probably one of the youngest guys in that competition, right?
Yeah, I was pretty much the youngest beatboxer there. Bro, it was crazy because I think to this day it was the biggest Swiss beatbox Swissbeatbox battle event ever. It was full, so many people, and when they called my name, Zede, on the stage, I went to the stage. I was so nervous, first time on the stage, but I was prepared, and you can, if you watch the video back, you can see me. I'm watching on the floor, and like the rookie mistakes that you do because I had no one that told me, oh, you have to do like this. I just went full into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I beatboxed, and the crowd went crazy, bro. It's really like I made some sounds, and they're like, whoa, like every 5 seconds, and it pushed me so hard. It was like, wow, okay, they really enjoyed it, and I unfortunately I didn't make it to the quarterfinal, which was, of course, I was very sad. But to be honest, I think that pushed me so hard, and that's why I won 2 years later, because I told myself, next time I go to the Swiss champs, believe me or not, I'm going to destroy everyone. And this was my motivation, and it was always my motivation. I always motivate myself in telling myself I want to be the best in it, And this is and I took this motivation. I learned new sounds, new routines. I had a friend. Finally, I found someone who also beatboxed, like in the town next to me. And I think that was a big reason where my true style started, and the true CeDe started.
Can you tell me why CeDe was spelled with a C beforehand? Because I saw there's 1-2 little thing out there with it's CeDe but with a C.
Yes, it was with the C because I named it because of a CeDe player, CeDe thing.
Yeah.
And I just added 2 E's between, And because there's a huge company in Switzerland written the same way, my manager back in the day told me, oh, maybe it's a better idea to make another letter there. Just to be safe, no confusion, no everything,
Absolutely. No, it was cool though to watching those actual the second time you go to the Swiss champs, because there was a break for some reason. 2004 you go and you first time ever on a stage to 2006. Now 2006 you're already performing, and I'll get into that later, but 2006 you end up going on, and those were actually the first ever Swiss Beatbox videos.
Yes.
The very first Swiss Beatbox videos ever uploaded were your videos at the Swiss champs in 2006. Now,
exactly.
As you said, you found another guy that beatboxed, you found some other people, and you got that inspiration to go and come back as strong as possible. Now, what was that like for you to come back in 2006 and actually go and just win and achieve what you wanted to and what you trained for? How was that received by family, friends, and just people in your town and stuff when you went there and won?
Bro, it was incredible. Definitely incredible for me. I just knew I have to give my best there, and after I won, my friends were very happy. Of course, you can hear the reactions actually in the videos. It's very funny. My friends very supported me a lot at this battle, and my family, of course. My father always supports me. He was always also a part of every battles in Switzerland. And it was a huge deal for me because this was my goal, after 2004, not even joining the quarterfinals, going into 2006 Swiss champs, I knew I have to win, and after all the eliminations, I already, not to try to be cocky or whatever, but I already knew, okay, I could be definitely having a good shot in winning this battle. And I just gave my best and tried to impress everyone. And then I won the Swiss champs.
Yeah. And then the next time they had the battle, you end up going up and you get best showcase at the Swiss champs.
Yeah, now, that was a weird.
I was gonna say, how did that work out? Because you didn't battle in that one? It was a performance, or how? Really?
I did. Yes, I did, and I lost in the. Was it in the quarterfinal against Stella? It's another old school beatboxer.
Mm.
And to be honest, I thought I had this battle. And it was also weird because when Bilo announced the half finals, definitely he has nothing to do with it. He was hosting the whole things, but I saw it in his eyes that I'm not going to win the quarterfinals, and he was talking around the by announcing the half finals, and I already knew, no, come on, please. And then I lost, and bro, I was so shattered, man. It's like when you know you win the round and then you didn't win, that was heavy. And then I received a call after the battles, and they told me like, we maybe it was a good idea to have 2 Swiss champs at the World Championships. So, and I was like, okay, so why should I have joined the battle if that was the intention, And it was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird, man. It was just weird. Of course, it wasn't my best battle. It was not. It was not like it was my best battle, but technically and everything, I definitely had it. Maybe on performance wise, the other guy was more dancing and more, in front. But technically and everything around, I felt like I had it easily. Yeah, it was just weird.
But to that happening, as you proved the first time, you go in from not going in and getting that return championship, but you take that drive and go into 2009, where you become the official world beatbox champion. You beat one of my brothers, Korean Effects. You beat Darnie. You beat Reeps One. You beat Voxing in the finals. You go there and you smash it for Switzerland, and you end up taking home the world championship. So you're the official world champion. Now, what went into that training for you for the world championships specifically? What went into that training after? Again, it sounds similar story of 2004 you try out, then you come back in 2006 you're the Swiss champ. Then something happens again where you didn't win, but you end up coming and you end up winning the whole thing. What went into that training for you, and how hard did you train for it?
The thing is, the world championship was my mentality then was a little bit different. Of course, winning it was like the ultra goal, but I didn't set my goals so high at the world champs. For me, it was like, okay, there are over 100 beatboxers, and I'm happy to get to the quarterfinal, top 16, top 8. I will be happy, And then the funny thing is, I prepared, but I also not really prepared. I mean, for me, I was always comfortable with freestyling, also at the Swiss champs. Freestyling was always a part of what I love to do, and also in the show, I feel like when you freestyle, you can fuck it up, but you can also create something unique in this moment, right? And so that's why I always love to freestyle. And it was pretty much 50-50, all my battles. It was like freestyle and prepared. And and then elimination rounds, I had the most points, which really surprised me. Elo came to me like, yo, CeDe, you have the most points. You are in this top 16. I was like, oh, shit, okay. And as further I got, as more serious or as more I wanted to win,
Absolutely. And I was there to watch it, man. It was awesome. I was it was crazy to go and watch the battles happening, because that was the first time I've ever jumped on a plane to go over to Europe and get meet everybody and see you on stage battling and stuff. It was cool to be in the crowd at what was it, 2B Club? The 2B Club, yeah, 2B Club, and that's the first time I met a lot of people, but yourself included. And like, again, it was awesome to see that high of a level at the battles itself, actually going and battling. And when you win the world championship, now obviously winning the Swiss champs is a huge deal, but when you win the world championships, going home, it must have been just a crazy experience for anything. Like, beatboxing is what we do, but I'm saying anybody that can say they're the best at that point in time, proved in a battle, and have the accolade behind it to say, yes, I won the world championship, I'm the world champion. How was that for yourself to go home to Switzerland, win it for Switzerland, and just family, friends, just what was the general reaction from people when you got back and got to go and have that trophy and have that accolade come back to Switzerland with you?
Bro, it was incredible, man. My all my friends were, I remember they were all on a friend's place and they watched it online. And the love I received after the announcement that I won was incredible, man. It's like winning the world champs is like the biggest you can achieve, right? Even though I didn't feel like I felt like some battles were really close, or even though I felt like one or two battles I should have lost, you know. But it's always like that. When I feel something is not right, I feel like how you said it, a little emotional to it, you know. After I won, I was happy, but I felt like shit. It was so weird because, for example, in the half finals against Reeps One, I totally thought, really, bro. I remember I went to Reeps in the backstage, and I told him, bro, if I win this against you, I don't think I win. So I already congratulated him. I was like, bro, you killed me. You had me. That was incredible. The crowd was on your side. Everything. If I even somehow manage to win this battle against you, people will go crazy, you know? And they announced my name. And I watched two Reeps. I was like, bro, I'm so fucking sorry, you know? Because I also seen in his eyes that he definitely also thought that he win, you know? That he won. And then I went to and no offense to the judges, you know, at the end there are 6 judges, and that's what they decide, and it is what it is. And they also explained me afterwards, because I went to them and I asked them why, and yeah, somehow it makes sense. But yeah, but for me it was like against Reeps I should have lost, you know. And after winning the World Championships title, I always had Reeps in my back mind, you know, because I felt like I took the title from him, you know. But of course, I was very happy. I was excited afterwards, and when I came home to my family, my friends, it was incredible. The news from Switzerland, they came to me, the TV, and it was a big thing. And I got invited here and there, and I met a lot of big artists from Switzerland, and yes, it was definitely incredible. Yeah, for sure.
It's like that happens often though. People mostly that are watching online, or even battlers themselves that are sitting there. It's happened to me where I've won a battle where I definitely in my mind I'm like, or watching it back I'm like, I don't know about that call, you know. But that's out of your control, because as you said, you're just the performer, so it has
it's true
very little to do with you when it comes to a decision making moment. Because even watching battles back again, there's such a weird thing when you watch a battle back if you're not there live and hearing it live and seeing it directly right in front of you, and then you're going to go watch it back and try to pick apart every little thing, pick apart it where you might not catch the emotion, or the camera angle doesn't exactly capture the emotion of it. But that's something, side note, just total side note, shout out to Menace though, because the Swissbeatbox team has been killing it with trying to go and bring you that feeling that you're actually there live at Grand Beatbox battle. But it's like, how many times have you judged a battle where someone wins, and then it's that feeling afterwards online where you see the backlash and, oh, this guy should have won, and people have opinions, and it's something that's out of your control though, and that's something that's like it happens a lot. And I find that people, again, you say yourself that, okay, maybe you didn't think you won against Reeps, but you end up winning, and you win this title that helps just obviously boost your career. And then I could say that for myself too. I've won battles where I'm like, I don't think I won, but I ended up winning because that's what the judges made the decision on.
Yeah.
But how do you process that as a person that wins a battle? Because again, it's not your responsibility to make that decision. You were just doing your thing, and on that moment the judges selected you. So how did you get past that feeling, or what do you advise to anybody that would win a battle and maybe feel that kind of guilt or feel that emotion and connected to it?
Yeah, just accept it, man. I mean, it's of course you won, but I think it's also normal that you feel that guilt, especially when you are 100%. Because I've seen so many battles, and of course I'm not perfect, and maybe I also had made decisions where afterwards, where I watched the videos, I felt like, okay, maybe the other guy, but sometimes, especially on close battles, So I've seen this reaction also in battles from other people, and I always knew how they feel. It's incredible, and it's not a good feeling. I mean, of course, you're very happy that you won, but on the other hand, you feel bad for the others. But at the end of the day, it's a battle. It's a competition, right? You won the battle, forget it, and go to the next battle. And just don't put your mind into it, And and also, the online thing can be very cruel, because for me, when I won the battle at the World Champs, it exactly that happened. What I knew is going to happen, A lot of people were disagreeing, and they were mean. There were so many hate comments and so many negativity. And I also struggled with it, man. I also had a few months of I didn't feel good. I had depression. I really felt like, okay, maybe this, maybe I shouldn't have won. But it's the first time I experienced hate, because I always got love and respect and everything, and then you experience an event where, a lot of people didn't disagree. A lot of people disagree with the decision, and then you are the guy who's beatboxing is the bad guy,
Yeah.
But it was never my fault, and of course after that I realized it, But for the first time, bro, to be honest, the World Championship videos, I watched them each battle maybe 2 times, not more, because I could not watch the battles. Because of the audio quality is not the best, And as you said, when you're live there, it's a different energy and everything. But it definitely took me, man, and I can advise for everyone who goes in a similar situation when they're in a battle, bro. Just don't think too much about it. Just don't think too much about it. Go to the next round. And ignore the bad comments, the bads. We experienced a lot also with in some other battles, and it's just you have to kind of ignore it. Yeah, for example, Mark Martin or other beatboxers that have similar situations. It's just it is how it is, and at the end of the day, as I said, you are the beatboxer, and it's not your fault that you're in the next round.
And it's such a fickle place. The internet is such a fickle place where you're sitting there and someone that, doesn't matter where they are, what they're going through, a negative person who's just continuously just putting stuff out, negativity all the time. It's something that I never understood, because I always thought that, like, I guess the what is that called? Anonymity, or I messed up that word, but it's the idea that you're anonymous online, so you don't have to go and stand behind your words and actually go and actually say that to someone's face, because it happens it happens in a lot of different places where someone is saying all this stuff online, then you see them in person, and it's like, oh, yo, can I get a picture? Yo, how you doing? You're like, now, didn't I see you just write that little comment? Didn't that happen? But that's like definitely something that is it's a difficult thing to do unless you're in the building, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but their opinions stay their own unless you're at a certain level of being a judge, because then you're paid for your opinion, and your opinion is what you're hired to go and do. So another big thing that I find when it comes to judging a battle, and this is something that we'll get into right now about you being a judge because you've had thorough experience, but it's also beatboxing has different criterias that you judge it off of, right? But there's a lot that has to do with style and a lot that has to do with preference maybe in the thing, because it's not like a weightlifting competition where this guy lifts 500 kilograms. That's a huge amount. Let's go with a realistic one. This guy lifts 200 kilograms. This person lifts 201 kilograms. And they're the same weight. So this person is technically stronger and he wins the competition, right? Or she runs 300 meters and this person runs that 300 meters faster than her. Well, then she wins the competition. So there's a very easy way of judging that. Whereas beatboxing, there's different criterias, and it comes down to style, preference, what people want to go and hear, and it's, I guess, more like a figure skating idea behind it, what they put into it, what they create with it, the originality and all these things. So I wanted to go and ask you just your opinion on what for you when you're judging, what do you really look for and makes it like stand out to you as a judge?
It has to be the wow effect. It just have to catch me somehow. Of course, when I started judging, I always sticked to the criterias, but with time I realized it's very hard to give points to every criteria the organizers give you on the sheet. So I just go with what I hear, man. I mean, it's the most important thing is like surprise me. Really, I give me something that I'm not expecting, and this is a huge thing for me as a judge. And it can be in every kind of criteria. It can be a musicality aspect that can surprise me, or a technical aspect that can surprise me, or even a performance and that can surprise me. And for most of the time, also, if you know that I've judged previous battles as well, and he's competing again, it will be more clever that you bring something else than stuff. Or let's say you battled a year before on a battle I was judging, and then next year you join a battle where I'm judging as well. It will be not clever to bring something that I'm expecting, because I expect, okay, you're going to do this and this. So it will be more interesting if you switch up, or yeah, definitely just surprise me. Originality is also a big thing. How you create some routines, or if you have sounds I never heard before, or like I said, I'm expecting you making that drop because I heard it 3 or 4 times, but you don't do that drop. This is like, oh, okay, I was not expecting that, and this is for me the biggest thing, that I'm looking for.
I think it's fair to say that you're probably like the most experienced judge in the beatbox world. I think that you've judged the most battles in the most prestigious battles around the world.
Maybe Below had more battles.
Maybe, I guess, because when they were doing the tour, because I think the first battles that I saw that you were judging that I found were the 2007 Belgian champs. You went down there and did that.
2006 Belgium champs.
2006. Yeah. That was it. So you start judging right after winning Swiss champs, and you do the German beatbox battle tour in Munich. You go and do a judge showcase there, and then 2000, there's a bunch in between then. 2009 Grand Beatbox battle, Big Shell's Grand Beatbox battle. You start doing that, and that's after winning the world champs. And I was gonna say, what did it when you first started about like get that invitation to judge? What was the idea of going in and actually judging hard for you to go and judge someone right off the bat? Because you win the you 2000, as you said, 2004, you go to the Swiss champs and you don't make it into it. You don't win it. But 2006 you end up winning it, and then pretty much right away you're into that role of being a judge. And I was gonna say, what's that switch like for you for in your experience? What happens when you go from one side of the mic to the table and judging somebody and having to go and put your name on the line of being like, no, I'm established to go and say that, you know?
To be honest, I pretty much enjoy judging way more than battling, because I was never really a battle beatboxer, you know? I just did it, or most of the time it's because it's a thing, right? You're beatboxer, you go to the battles, you join, you do all this kind of stuff, and I just did it because it was a thing. And I always felt uncomfortable on stage when I battled, the pressure and everything, you know? And being finally, that's also why I stopped after the winning the world champs, because for me it was like, okay, I achieved the highest thing you can do. And to be honest, there were no other international battles before, so I never knew there will be such a big hype with international battles afterwards. So for me it was like, okay, winning the world champs, and of course right there 2009 2010 the first few international battles were organized, and of course I was the going to beatboxer because I was the world champ, right?
Yes.
So I got invited to all these battles, and for me it's always fun. It's always fun to watch all the beatboxers, and also you learn so much. When you judge, you hear all the beatboxers, you hear what they're doing. I learned so much. That's why I will say I learned way more in this period of time when I judged than before the world champs. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, you get that opportunity to go to different countries and see different styles and hear new talent and new ideas. And it's funny because a lot of the time too, when you're judging, you show little emotion. You said this in an interview as well, that you keep the emotion, and I think it was Beatbox Guru that you said this on, but you said you keep your emotion on the inside and don't let it emote out and actually come onto your face. There's sometimes that you do, obviously, but
sometimes I cannot hold it.
Yeah. Well, some of the stuff's too crazy, but I mean, it's nice to see that you're really paying attention. That's something that has happened. I've seen before, where certain judges, like I've seen certain judges that don't take it seriously, and they they'll do whatever and they won't be focusing on it as much. But you're one of the judges that I've always seen and always really respected, because you really pay attention to it and you really try to go and take in the moment and listen to it carefully. So it's definitely appreciated from around the world. And then you go and do Beatbox Showdown, you go and do Emperor of the Mic, Bulgarian champs, and come back to World Champs 2012. Was there any point in time leading up to that 2012 champs that you thought about going back and defending?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's natural that you have this in your mind. Like, should I not? But at the end of the day, I decided to judge the battle and let someone else get the new title, you know. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely in my head, but and also after I gave Skiller the title, maybe you can see in my reaction when in the finals at the end of the video, you see my face. I was like, okay, I just I'm not the actual world champ anymore. It's like now someone else has it. It's like I felt it at this moment. I felt like, maybe I should have joined this battle again. But on the other side, when I saw the battle, I also had moments where I'm like, oh, I'm happy I didn't join the battle, you know. But yeah, I had it many times, man. Many battles and situations where I felt like maybe I had a chance if I would have joined that battle. I maybe had a chance, because I think it's also normal that you compare yourself with other beatboxers as well, you know, especially when you see battles. I always had it in my back mind. If I would have beatboxed against this guy, would I have a chance? Maybe, maybe not, you know. And yeah, definitely had this in my mind a few years or in a few battles before.
Well, even in fast forwarding a little bit, because you've again, the amount of battles that you've been from Asia Champs, Chinese Championship, you went to World Beatbox Classic, and you've been pretty much a standard at GBB of always judging and always performing at it, because obviously it's in Switzerland, it's relatively close, I assume. Switzerland is not the biggest landmass, so it'd be easier for you to get there than me to go to Vancouver. For anybody that's in Canada watching, you'd understand if I'm in Toronto. But yeah, so you've been around and you got to go and see so much. And I was gonna say, even 2017 at World Beatbox Camp, when I was there and I got to go and see you ended up actually jumping in for fun back into a 7 to smoke, and like I was gonna say, like how like that must have been such a cool feeling of being like, you know what, maybe I'll just jump in. It's just for fun, and just got to go and experience that. But you get to go and battle Kenny Urban, Alexinho, and Napalm, so you get to go and battle the top class all of a sudden, right back into it. And how did that feel, even though it was spur of the moment, just for fun? How did that feel to go and jump back into a battle just again? Because it's been it was 2009 till 2017.
It felt like back in the days, man. You're a little bit excited, and you're in the backstage, and you start to think about routines, you know, because everything was so spontaneous. I was like, okay, let's I just joined this 7 to smoke, and but on the other hand, I was so annoyed as well, because I'm very emotional, that I didn't win one battle. I was like, fuck, man. I know, of course, if you battle against Napalm or Kenny Urban and Alexinho, of course, they are the top tier beatboxers at the moment, you know, and of course I was not expecting to win, but I still try to, you know, I really try to. I also, when I watch the battles back, I always be like, fuck shit, I should have done something else or this and that, and then I start to find my failures I made. You know, I think it's also something where you learn a lot. You know, you review the battles, but it was definitely at that time it was very, very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I wished I had more battles. I wished I won a battle, but it was definitely, the feeling was like back in the days, you know. And after that, I even joined like some fun battles as well in Graz, and it's why not? If it's for fun, and I'm in a good mood, and I had 1 or 2 beers, then why not? Then I joined the battle.
Yeah, you jumped on with the vocal total, right? You jumped on and just for the 2-on-2, I think it was.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Again, it makes me happy to go and see you battle again. So that's another thing I want to bring you up after that moment and that little taste. And again, we're 3 years ahead of it now. When battles come back, do you ever get that feeling and that kind of I don't know what it is that kicks in, that battle mentality? Does that come back to you and makes you want to go jump back in the ring? Or is there any battles that you'd ever think about jumping back into, even like Swiss champs, or, you know, try out for Grand Beatbox battle and try to go and do you ever get that? Well, obviously you have already said that you get that feeling that you sometimes want to, but have you been thinking about that lately? Of like, man, it's, you know what, maybe I should go and battle again,
bro, for sure. But I will just do it to see how far I will come. Compared, you know, because a lot of people see me as old school beatboxer, CeDe old school, and old school sounds like you cannot compete with the new, you know. I always feel like people think these beatboxers, they are old school, they have no chance against newer. Maybe a lot of them, they maybe have no chance, but I never counted myself to this all to this to these beatboxers. I always felt like if I will train a lot, I might win 1 or 2 battles if I really give my 100%. And I definitely had the feeling before making a wild card or for a Grand Beatbox battle, just to see how far I will get, you know. And if I would make it to the Grand Beatbox battle, to see how far I will get there, you know. But I definitely will not have the same mentality of I want to win. I want to win so bad. This is definitely gone, but definitely my goal will be to see, my goal will be to see how far I will come. Will I lose in the first battle or maybe finals? You know, we never know.
You think it would kick back in like 2009 though? If you were to get into a battle, you like win 1 or 2 battles, you think that thing would come in your mind, that voice from 2009 being like, yo, you could win this thing right now?
Maybe if I would reach the finals, then maybe I would want to win it for sure. But I would. The thing is, I have a lot of experience. You know, I've seen so many battles. I know I've seen so many scenarios of battles and rebattling and answers and all this were what a battle is. So I know what I have to do, what I don't have to do, what the judges are looking for, and this is definitely a big plus in this situation for me, you know. And I also like to study beatboxers and to see their to check for their weakness, to check for the strength and what I should do and what not to do. And this is definitely something I still have in me, but I'm way too scared to make the step to that, because I'm like I said, I'm very emotional, and if I have that feeling of failure, I have this in my head, and I will not bring it out for a long time. So yeah.
Well, it's one of those things too that it's I think you're a good example of one of the getting to the epitome, getting to the peak of the somethings, because you won the world champs, and then you've been judging all over the world. You've been flown around to go and judge, and you're just at such a certain level of respect and part of the community, and it's a hard idea for you to go for anybody. But again, you being an example, because I'm talking to you right here, it's a hard idea for you to go and be like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll jump in with the young guys again, or maybe I'll jump into this thing here and just to see how I do. Because in some parts, if you were to win, it's a great story. It's a comeback. It's and for people that know you somewhat, it's like it's some things you're expected to win. But then if you don't win or you don't do as well as you like, you're going to go and have all those things that come back and be like, I should have done this. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have come back. Blah, blah, blah. And it's something that's hard to get over, but it's something I would, even seeing you battle at the World Beatbox Camp and seeing that happen, the videos back from Graz, I was so stoked. Just as much as I call you a friend, I'm a fan too. So it's dope to go and see that. And I'm like, I would love to see you jump back in the ring sometime, and I'm sure that people would love to go and see that as well. So, if you were to think, if there's one battle that you'd ever want to jump into, what would be the battle that you'd like an opportunity at?
Definitely a Grand Beatbox battle. For 100%. I mean, it will be too much. It's the World Championship is a marathon. It's a huge marathon, and a lot of time-consuming things. You have to wait a lot, and you're getting tired. And of course, World Championships is a huge title and everything. But the Grand Beatbox battle is more compact. They are like the chosen 16, and the event is also huge. And definitely, if I would ever try to battle again, then definitely the Grand Beatbox battle. But it would be weird because I was all the years in the judging, and then I'm standing on the stage and battling. Yeah, it would be weird, you know.
Well, but it's not like you're the organizer. It's not like you're
It's
the
true.
person that puts the money behind it or anything like that. Because I find that sometimes too, people that it's happened around the world where someone organizes the event and they end up winning it, or they put money behind an event, and then even if they do win, there's people that whisper this and that, and like it you know, like the people that would be watching, Swissbeatbox fans and people in general, if you were to go and actually get into it, it'd just be dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Super dope.
I think
to see that.
I think on every beatboxer in my generation, it will be fun. Imagine Reeps is going to join the battles again. It will be crazy as well. It's just like people would love to see the older generations back on stage, and I think that's. You know, if you compare this to other elements of hip hop, like breakdancing, for example, the old schoolers, the older generations, they're still battling, you know? This is something that in the beatbox scene is like, if you achieved something, most of them, they stop, you know? I think Alem was one of the first who tried the world champs for the second time. But before that, everyone stopped, you know? And it's I don't know. It's definitely for the community not the best thing to do. But if I would win if I would be in this generation and I would win the world champs, I definitely would change my mind and continue battling for sure. But at my time, it was different scenario, different thing. You know, there were not a lot of battles and. Yeah, and I was already too much into judging and everything that I didn't feel like battling anymore. But today I would definitely do it differently.
And it's again, there's so many battles happening around the world now, and there's so many opportunities to jump in from. You could do like Beatbox to World to the vocal total to you know Grand Beatbox battle. There's so many Beatbox battles around the world that you have the opportunity to go and get a championship from and prove yourself. And I find that another thing is like, did you ever do the online thing? Did you ever battle online? Because I saw some stuff when you were on Ventrilo, and like I barely ever used Ventrilo. I kind of missed out on doing the online thing. It's something I really wish, looking back, that I would have paid attention to a little more, just because it was always, I've said this on this podcast many times, my good friend Heat, John, always told me, he's just like, Scotty, like, you old bugger, like, you got to go and jump on this thing and let me show you these guys. And now fast forward to today's time where everything's online because of current world situations. The online community is huge, and people like Beatbox community are doing it big. Beatbox Arena, Beatbox International, all these people are doing these crazy battles online. Even Swissbeatbox, obviously, with the GBB 2020 online edition. But did you ever battle online? And what do you think of it? From being a person that has to judge online, how hard is it to go and judge a battle online for you? Those two-part questions. So did you battle in it? Three-part. Did you battle in it beforehand on Ventrilo days, or Human Beatbox posting the clip for clip type thing as it was back in the day? Or did you how hard is it for you to judge an online battle? And also, what is your just general thoughts of the online community that's happened?
I don't remember, but I think I never. Hold on. Yes, I did. I remember 2004. There was a site. I don't remember how it was called, and you could upload. And it was not just the beatbox battle side. It was also a rap battle side. Like people could also rap battle against each other. But there was also a beatbox arena. And I don't remember how this site was called, but it was back in 2004. And you could upload an audio file, and someone else could accept the battle and then add his audio file to it, and then this was the battle. And when I started beatboxing, this was definitely something I did like not much, but definitely 2-3 times. On humanbeatbox.com. Yes, we added a lot of audio files. We made a thread on the forum with like audio files, but I also never battled on humanbeatbox.com, as far as I remember. And on Ventrilo and TeamSpeak, I also never battled. I just was there and enjoyed beatboxing with other beatboxers and sharing thoughts and stuff. What I think about judging online battles, it's different because the audio quality is definitely a huge thing, which can be for some beatboxers a negative point, you know, or a positive point. So you have to always calculate that in, right? And it's definitely a little bit harder, I feel. And what I think about online battling, it's definitely it's a good thing to do. It's also for the community really good. People can battle, they can learn, they can do all this stuff to get better at it. And it's always a good thing to getting better in something if you have the opportunity. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I've been loving the online stuff to go in. It's somewhat hard for because again, I've never really done too much stuff online and sit behind a computer. I can't lie. It's hard for me to go and sit at a computer for like 6 hours and just sit there and listen. But
Yeah.
I mean, during these times, it's beautiful to have that option, and it's something that I would tune into and watch stuff that's coming up, obviously, because there's a bunch of different battles that have happened already and more that are coming up, and other online stuff too. It's funny. I saw that you had 2004, I think is when you started up, but you did the sound click, and you had like 5 tracks up there. You got My Style, Zede 1 Minute Beat, Noise Time, Zede Swiss Beats. Yeah, that was cool, man. There was one, I think it was your My Style, that was like a 4-minute clip or something you put up, and I think it was that one specifically. But you just it sounded like such a smooth transition DJ, and it was so pleasant to go and hear and actually listen to as you're going from beat to beat to beat to beat. And that's something that, like, I don't know, it's just so uniquely your style. From when I first heard that, it sounded exactly like a DJ when you had the high pitched sounds and the high pitched scratches going into this beat, and then all of a sudden next beat, and then but it'd be the transitions were all there perfectly. And also when you that other video where you're just beatboxing for a few friends that were rapping on. I'm not sure if those guys. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Good friends, still good friends of mine. Still to this day.
Are those guys from Dopepox?
Yes,
that kind of crew? Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
okay.
Dopepox doesn't exist like that back in the days before. Oh, I think my camera plugged out.
No,
no,
you're
it's
back.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Flashing it out.
Yeah, but it's definitely they were friends of mine. They were all MCs. You know, I was just in front of and I remember it was that time when YouTube became a thing, right?
Yes.
And I knew I knew I had no video of myself on YouTube. Sorry. And this was the moment I had my camera with me, and I was like to my friend, let's just do a quick freestyle session, and then I uploaded it, and it was fun. That was my first YouTube video.
Yeah, 2006 you threw that out, and it was like shot on a handy cam or like so.
Yeah.
It's funny to see the production value and just going up and going up. And speaking of online stuff too, not only did you have the first ever Beatbox actual videos on Swissbeatbox, but you're the first person to do an actual Swissbeatbox shout out where you're just like shout outs to Swissbeatbox. So in this, it was something I was wondering about actually specifically was, what was it that in the Swiss scene you guys started the championship so early? Because 2004 is an early battle to go and start national championships, and now it's again with Pony's work and the Swissbeatbox team pushing and becoming, when Grand Beatbox battles happening, a hub for it. And you guys have guys like your brother Funkus Tech, you have Nino G, you have there's like Camaro, obviously Kumar. There's so many good Swiss beatboxers Steph the Chef, obviously too. Like, I don't want to miss anybody, but I'm going to be guaranteeing I'm going to be missing people. But like, in that scene, what was it about that scene that when you guys won, like 2009, you end up winning the champs? Steph the Chef does well for the females as well, and in I think just the rankings how it would work out, but Switzerland would be the top ranked nation if you were to look at it statistically for that. So what kind of built to that, and what was it about that interest in beatboxing that kind of grew the scene in Switzerland when it first started up? And do you see that coming back, and is been able to have the Swiss champs that like Dion puts on all the time is in BNBL, I believe he puts it on, but in those championships, where do you see the scene is going, and how was it that, like, how did it become? I'm so curious to see whose idea was it to go and start that first ever Swiss champs and push that scene. You know, it's really interesting.
It's definitely Bilo's thing. I think the Swiss champs was the second battle that he created, or the third or the fourth, something like that. One of the earliest battles was the Swiss champs, and he was a good friend of Bifu. And they organized it together, I think. So this was pretty much the first battle, and it's I think it's also a little bit obvious because Switzerland and Germany is very close, and I think Bilo wanted to go to try this in other countries as well. And I think the first step after the German champs was the Swiss champs, if I'm not mistaken. And from there on, we had a good amount of good beatboxers, like Camaro and Claudio. And Steph Chef, she came 2006 in the scene. And there's also, I don't know if you know Knackebul. Yeah, he's not very in the scene a lot, but he's definitely in the Swiss beatbox scene. People know him because he's very, after the beatboxing, he got into the media, and he's also rapping, and he's very successful. And Steph Chef is also very successful hip hop artist. So it's funny that the beatboxers in Switzerland are getting
multifaceted.
Yes, they're getting known in the music scene a lot. And definitely we have a lot of good beatboxers. Then my brother, of course, was always very good and always also tried to compete. And we have Funkastek, that is also did his thing, had his own style, and it was not always a lot of Swiss people. Like if you compare it to France, they have like so many crazy beatboxers at the same time. In Switzerland, it was always from generation one or two that were really good. Of course, Switzerland is a very small country, and now we have a small WhatsApp group with all the beatboxers from Switzerland, and we communicate there. Dion is Funkastek is trying to push the scene as well with making the Swiss champs, which is pretty nice, very good. My brother is now giving workshops in schools and try to push or create new soldiers for the army as well. And it's getting somewhere. It has a time where it was very not so powerful. Like I think it was the last Swiss champs or the Swiss champs before, and the battle was not so strong. Like most of the competitors were not really good, and I hope this will change in the future.
Absolutely. Sure. And speaking of your brother, Mr. Denis the Menace, and now I'm not sure if he's dropped the Menace, but it's Denis. He ended up.
I think he's thinking about dropping it, but he's in a fight with himself about this.
And he ended up now is a Swiss champ as well.
3 times, yeah.
3 times, yeah. So again, when did he pick it up? Because you said I know just in passing, but you have an older brother as well, and I don't think he beatboxes, right? He doesn't beatbox.
Bro, it's, I don't know if I can say beatboxing, but he can do some sounds like and womp, 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 stuff like that, but not really serious like me and Denis. Yeah.
And but how did that like when did Denis start beatboxing with you? And is that something that, like, obviously you got to be proud of your little brother taking the Swiss champs down 3 times? And how does it feel though? Because his style is was very similar at the beginning, obviously, because he's mimicking you like everyone mimics the people that they look up to when they start. But how do you like when you start practicing with him, when you were at home or whatever, like when you guys started practicing and stuff, like that's just so cool to have a brother that actually beatboxes at such a high level and get to go and be like, oh, can you do this like this? Oh, what about this like this? And maybe he thinks of something new and you think of something new, and you can go back and forth and go together and do stuff. And you've traveled the world with him as well. He's come and done showcases with you. So I was going to say, it's could you just speak a little bit about your brother and kind of what he's been doing and what his plans are for battling / would there ever be a time that you guys would go as a tag team to battle, or?
Yes. Also, my brother, he started like 1 or 2 years later when I started. I think he also just did it like I did it. I never really told him to also start beatboxing. He just did it for himself. Yes, in the beginning he had a very similar style, but I told him in the beginning, try to create your own moves, your own style, your own try to create something different as well. Of course, he's my brother, you know. At the end of the day, you can hear a similarity, like you can hear it by the Mad Twins as well. But they still have 2 different styles, you know. That you can hear it that they are living together and have the same flow and ideas. But he definitely created his own style. Of course, he can also do TKs, and he has some TKs in his routines and some patterns. But he does it very well. And of course, I always take him with me and on the journeys. I support him on the battles. I give him tips, and now he's doing a great job. And making tag teams, you know, my biggest problem is I'm more like to fight on my own, you know. If you know what I mean. It's like, for me it's very hard to, not because my brother is worse or whatever, no, he's a really, really good beatboxer, but for me it's like to create something. We have some routines together and sometimes we perform together, but it's, for me it's like very hard to it will be very difficult for me to join a battle with Denis, not because of him, more because of me, you know, because I will be maybe annoyed, or if he makes a mistake, you know, all the brother stuff, you know, you did a mistake, you did, and so, and as I said, I'm very emotional, so, but for fun, for sure, man, definitely, but to really compete, it will be a pain in the ass to sit down with Denis and figure out some routines. And also because we were very technical and have similar styles. For me, it will be more enjoyable to have someone totally different, you know? So you can create something crazy. It's a very, I don't know, it's very hard to explain. Why not? Because of course I had this in my mind, and he also talked about me about that. But for me, it's always it will be special for sure.
That's something I'd like to see, but like I'm a younger brother myself, so I can understand the issues that come up as brothers happen just by anything, and also having to go and put all that energy into something that, you know, you got to be like, okay, we're going to do this like this. Yeah. And then, you know, maybe he has a different mindset, and then you get that clash.
Yes. And it's also different, man. Tag teaming battles are very different. And I see the tag team scene is if I would compare it, I don't know if I would ever be able to create something with Denis, not because of him, also because of me, like other beatboxers do, because it's such another way, you know. It will be totally new for me, and I would rather stick to solo beatboxing battles than in team or tag team. And this has definitely nothing to do with my brother. As I said, we sometimes perform together on events, and we do stuff together. But battling, I never felt comfortable in tag team. No.
True. It's definitely a different feeling to go and have someone else to go and. It can be obviously fun. You can go and make some amazing things, but you also have to make sure that you as you said, have styles that work, that you can go and make something unique, that you can go and really put the time in. So there's no like, oh, this guy's going over here, she's going to be busy doing that. This person's, everyone's has their own lives to lead as well. So finding that person that you can go and work with easily as well is definitely a help. But I wanted to go and bring out too. So let's get a little bit more into your career as a beatboxer as well, because you've done some amazing things aside from judging in the beatbox scene itself, because sometimes people get lost in the beatbox scene and it's just about battles, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what they choose to do. But you've had a pretty crazy career, man. You've done a lot of cool stuff. From the producing stuff is something I'm totally different that I'll get into as well, because you got, again, there's so much to get through. But 2006, you end up getting to go and do the Tradimento tour, or the Io Odi Fabri Fibra tour.
Yeah, Tradimento.
But you end up going and already touring in 2006. Is that before or after you win the Swiss Champs?
It was before.
And how did that come up? Because was that through the group that you were working with, Dopox, that you ended up? That was just a solo thing that you got on.
It was actually, I think the manager of Fabri Fibra, she looked for a beatboxer to join the tour for in between songs, Mm-hmm. And she didn't find any beatboxers in Italy. The only one who was beatboxing back then was Alien D. But Alien D was in the south, I think in the middle south Italy. So it was even further than me living in Switzerland, and they are in the north Italy. So they wrote me like, yo, I'm a manager of Fabri Fibra. We have this and that idea. Are you interested? Check him out. They sent me, and I didn't know him before, And they sent me a CD and videos, and then I see, okay, this dude is like serious. He has like over 100,000 copies sold, and was on magazines, and was the biggest rapper back then in Italy. So I was like, yeah, of course, man. It's a huge opportunity for me, and it also helped me a lot in performing in front of crowds, for sure. And then I was three months on tour with him. It was like, and the funny thing was I was in school then as well. And sometime I have to, I told the school I'm sick, and then I went to Rome to perform. And then the next day I had school,
Oh, wow.
I have to be back the next day, and I was in school and or at work. It was a mix between school and work. I don't know how you said it in English. You learned for that particular job. I don't know what's the word.
Like a placement.
Yeah. And then I was on tour with him, and 3 months of having fun, beatboxing, and try to see this kind of world as well. Performing in front of thousands of people, and hanging around with cool guys, and it was definitely cool. So yeah, the manager hit me up, and I was the first choice, and this is how it started. Yeah.
And that experience of going and jumping on tour, excuse me, that ability is like something that I wish more beatboxers had the opportunity to do, or would make an opportunity for themselves. Because I swear, like the ability to go and just tour around and have that, it's not just like, oh, sick, I did one show a month. It's like, no, I did like 12 shows this month for this guy, and then I did 12 other shows here, and I did street performing, and just immerse yourself into performing to go and figure it out and make a name for yourself and get that ability to go and have traction on it is just the best experience. It's placement in itself. It's a workplace experience in itself, as being into that industry and jumping headfirst in. So, again, was that some of the first performances that you did on such a stage and such a level in front of so many people, being able to go and do that show? And how was, like, 2006, even before the champs, were you nervous going on stage? And how did you deal with that? Because you're like, okay, jumping on stage in front of 1,000 people. Cool. Let me go and get this done.
Yes, it was, it is a tour, so it means it's very structured, right? Everything is has a structure there. So I had my time, and I knew, okay, then I have to be on stage. I have 5 minutes time, and we even rehearsed. I went to Milan, and we rehearsed a few times. He told me, okay, after that song, you go this, we go back, we changed the clothes, and then we wrote down songs, because back in the days making covers was a big thing in beatboxing, and also for the crowd it's always good making covers. So we wrote down covers, and I also covered some songs from him. So he told me, he showed me some songs, and he said it would be cool if you make some covers. And at the end of the show, we all three performed together, me beatboxing, he was rapping. So it was pretty much structured. And of course, the first 1-2 shows were like, okay, let's see how this works. And it worked out very well. I was confident with all my routines. And after a time, after 3, 4, 5, 5th, 6th, 7th show, it was like, just go on stage and do your thing. And it was easy, you know?
Just smashed it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And again, getting that understanding of touring though, too, because it's different. I find that some people don't understand kind of the wear and tear and things that you make mistakes. And even when people at Grand Beatbox Battle, sometimes you'll see people that go and they go so hard the first night, you know, they try to stay up and have every conversation and, you know, all the stuff that comes with staying up all night. And then they're not prepared for the next day, because it's like, oh, maybe I should have gone to bed a little earlier. Or maybe I shouldn't go and do that. Or maybe it's a good idea to go and make sure I get that breakfast at Beatbox Camp so I don't have a rough day, to say the least. But getting that tour experience. Sorry. I've seen that so many times, bro. And I talk with the beatboxers and I tell them, bro, you battle tomorrow. You know that. You have to battle tomorrow. Don't fuck yourself up. And bro, they're all young. I've been there as well. So. Oh, you only learn by making the mistakes and getting that experience, right?
I mean, when I was on tour, bro. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and skip over that part. You know, the fun part that we're not going to go and put in this podcast because we're PG friendly, coming at you love and back right here. But then, so you get to go do this tour, jump off, and you're continuously doing shows, not only for, again, beatbox events, but I was going to ask you, how was that? There's a classic video on your channel in what's it, Muri, Switzerland?
Yeah, Muri, yes, Muri.
Yeah, but there's that classic thing. It's 2007. You have one with Roxorloops, one with you, and then one with you two guys together. Now, how did that come about that you guys ended up working together? Because then you work with him. You guys go to Poland and you do the Brook Festival with Bladicris and Darnie. You get to go and do some shows with them when they're going to go and do some of the openings for their Brook Brothers band that they had. But how did that connection start off with you and Roxorloops? Because you seemingly just clicked right away and the videos. If you have never watched these videos and you're a beatboxer, you after this podcast go online and look them up. They're dope.
Yeah, they're cool. They're very, very, very cool. Yeah, so me and Roxorloops, we met on humanbeatbox.com. I remember watching that one interview of him. There was a thread on the forum, Roxorloops interview, and I clicked on it, and I watched the video, and I was like, whoa, okay, this dude is insane. You know, compared to the other beatboxers on the forum, he was so special. He had such a clean style. and the groove was so unique, and as soon as I watched that video, he wrote me on humanbeatbox.com a private message. He was like, "Hey, yo, bro, I love your stuff. You're insane." So we respected each other from the beginning, and he respected me, I respected him, and we from there on, bro, we were instantly friends. He invited me to Belgium to that battle, and yeah, we're still friends to this day. Roxorloops is such an awesome guy. I respect him a lot, and he was such a good. He's still a good friend, and I think we also pushed each other a lot. You know, we showed a lot of skills, and I learned a lot from him. He learned a lot from me, and he was definitely the first real beatbox friend I had online. And yeah, so what was the rest of the question? The video of Muri. Yes, so he was invited by an organizer in Switzerland, and Muri is pretty close where I live. It's like 20 minutes with the car. And he wrote me, he like, "Yo, I'm in Switzerland. I'm driving through Aarau where I live." I was like, "What? You're in Aarau?" Yeah. I saw the name of the train stop, Aarau, and I remember, you live in Aarau, right? I was like, "Yes. Come by, man." And then yeah, we were chilling in the studio, and we're talking, and he then actually said, "Yeah, I have a show in Muri, and tomorrow, and you should come as well." I talked with the organizer, and then he talked with the organizer, and yeah, then we went to that show. My father said, "Yo, we should film this." I take the camera with me, and we filmed this, and yeah, and he made his stuff. He made his show, and then I made like a short 3-4 minutes show, and then we performed together, and yeah, then I uploaded it on YouTube, and this is how it went. Yeah. And then yeah, I got a lot of Bloody Chris is also a huge friend. Me, Bloody Chris, and Roxorloops. Actually, Bloody Chris invited. Hold on, no, it was in Belgium. Roxorloops invited Bloody, me, and Darnie to a battle to judge. I don't know which year it was. And yeah, we rocked on there, and since then we are all 4 very good friends still. I'm cool with Bloody Chris and Roxorloops, and I'm still connected with Darnie. We play a lot of Valorant and CSGO. So yeah, no, Roxorloops is a really, really nice guy, really, really cool guy.
Yeah, I gotta love Roxorloops, got to. And then I was gonna say too, continuing on, you've had a bunch of people, actually, not a bunch, but excuse me, you've had a good number of very good beatboxers come through that studio, and you had those really good videos that went out with Reeps where he came by. And was he again booked in Switzerland, or did he just show up? You invited him and Paponi, and you guys showed up together, or what was the deal there? Because I remember watching those videos where you're playing at one part too, you're playing with the echo effect on the video and everything, and I was watching that being like, whoa, wait a second. Like, before I heard chaos pads and stuff, I was hearing that, and I was like, wait a second, how is this? He's affecting the voice, and he's still in time. This is some forethought that's pushing it, you know?
Yeah, it's true. No, Reeps One has a good friend in Switzerland, also a rider, a sketcher, making paints and stuff. I don't know what exactly he does, but he visited him in Switzerland. And I think Peponi told me then, "Yo, Reeps is in Switzerland." And I was like, "Yo, let's do something. Let's bring him to Aarau, to my city, to the studio. I have a small studio there. We can chill." And since Reeps was also a writer, graffiti writer, I also have a big friend of mine who is also a graffiti writer. I was like, "Yo, we can give you some canvas to spray, and we searched for a wall, and then we went to the wall, and Reeps made a piece on the wall, and my friend as well, and then we went back to the studio, and we were jamming, and Peponi was filming all this stuff, you know. And I made my solo thing. Reeps made his solo thing. We beatboxed together on that machine. We even had a drum set in the studio. I was playing drums and Reeps was beatboxing on it, but Peponi never uploaded that. I don't know what happened to that.
Secret footage.
Yeah, but maybe my drum was just shit. It could be because maybe the footage was really shit. So yeah, that was the thing with the. That was the thing with Reeps One. Yeah, so he was in Switzerland visiting a friend, and we connected in my studio, and
those were just cool videos. Again, it's funny when just in the beatbox world itself, when you sit at home, you know, so when you're really crazy about it, you sit at home, and then all of a sudden you'll see a video pop up, and you're like, whoa. What's this person doing? You check out the video and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's like this person's doing this. Then someone from another country uploads a video or something like that, or does now it's even crazier because Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all these different things. But back in the day when someone would put up just a clip of audio, you're like, whoa, wait a second, what's he doing there? You know, this is crazy. And nowadays, again, so easy to go and exchange ideas. But coming back to your career, you've done again so much. I wanted to go and ask you projects that you've done where you start working, because again, 2006 when you do the Fibra. Okay.
Yeah.
Apologize on that.
No problem.
But when you go and work with them and you work out a show, the idea behind a show, and it's not just a solo performance, and you're not just solo performance 10 minutes, all right, I'm done. It's like an actual structured out show. That's something that you've done a bunch of throughout your career, and I noticed, like, really rewatching, and some of these videos that I saw when I was prepping for this interview and this podcast, I was like, whoa, I remember that coming up, or whoa, I never even saw that before. And I saw that you did some stuff with you ended up going on, what was that called? Yeah, for the Red Bull Sound Clash, and you work with a full band in 2009, and you actually perform. And again, so you do that, and then you do another couple shows where you're again working with these full on pieces, and you actually came to Canada. And I wish I would have known that you're in Canada, in Montreal, even though it's a couple hours drive. I would have driven out to go and see this, but it was so dope when you went and did the drum battle versus Marco Miniman. Yeah, but you did that drum battle in the Montreal Drum Fest, and watching that back again, some of it seemed like it was off the cuff and going back and forth, and you're just trying to match up stuff, but some of it was just so well put together as a show. And then again, keep on going forward. You do the acapella festival, the Appenzell.
Yes, Appenzell.
Yeah, and you work with Santis Jolder and the Ostinato. I'm butchering these names, I'm butchering these names. It would help if I could go and get some help on these names for the next one. But again, I'm just the idea behind putting together actual show pieces, and it's not just. I love a solo beatbox. I love a tag team beatbox. I love a Loopstation beatbox. I love all those facets of beatboxing, specifically just that idea of it being raw. But I also just like the pageantry involved, the making it grand, this show where it's all these pieces put together. And then another one that I saw that was really dope is when in 2017 or 18 you work with the Erlenschbach Drum Club.
Yes, Erlinsbacher Drum Club. Yeah.
But watching that was so cool. The clips that I saw from it, it was like, I don't know, it was a full-on production, and there's a piece that you had to be put into, and that's such a forward-thinking thing, because I found that again, some people don't think outside the box in that range, and it's totally okay. Everyone can do as they want, and if you want to be a focused solo beatboxer, that's totally 100% cool. And I love seeing when people really focus on that, and that's their passion. But the collaborative parts of it and the actual showcase that you can create with beatboxing and other elements, whether it's dance, drummers, working with singers, working with a cappella, making that show where it's an actual show. Like, what was that in your mind of like? It's just opportunities that come up that you work with, and then all of a sudden you make these things out of. Or do you have ideas for future shows that you'd love to go and see in the beatbox world, but specifically for yourself, that you have any ideas? Two-part question.
The thing is, I love making different stuff. You know, I think it's a lot of, you learn also a lot if you do that. And for me, was always interesting to do stuff that I would never imagine could fit, you know, like making something with a brass band, or with a drummer club, or battling against a real drummer. All this stuff is so fun, you know, because beatboxing is so, you can use it in everything, you know. And most of the time I got the request, you know, from this kind of stuff. People hooking me up like, yo, we have an idea, do you want to on a part of this show? And if I really like the idea, then yes, why not? You know, it's really, most of the time it's very professional. They come with ideas, and we rehearse together, and it always was so much fun to do. You know, just doing stuff that people don't expect. And for me, it's also challenging to create something with beatboxing, with my stuff, that can fit with what they do. You know, I really want to create something that is really enjoyable for everyone to listen to. And it's in everything what I do, also in producing. You know, when I work on songs with other, I really want to have a really nice song. I really want to have the beats fitting with the mix and everything. And the same is with working with this kind of people that do totally different stuff, like with an a cappella group from the Alps, you know, like they're doing yodel stuff. And it's so fun because it's like they don't know shit about beatboxing, and then you come with ideas that are really crazy and nice, and then they enjoy it as well. And it's a lot of fun. It's really fun, and I will recommend everyone to do it, because, you know, you just can learn from it. And yeah, it's really fun.
And is there anything in your mind that you have, like a future project that you'd like to, you know, something that you're like, oh, it'd be really cool to pair this with, you know, this style of music, or I'd like to pair my beatboxing and have the opportunity to perform with this style of production? Is there anything in your mind that you think of that you'd like the opportunity to do, or something that you've been thinking about for a while that you'd like to incorporate into a show?
Oh, it's a hard question. I don't know, man. I really want to surprise myself what is coming, because I mean, all the stuff that I did, I was never predicted that I'm going to do it, and it worked. And and of course I will. What I really like to see is, and I see this on Kenny Mohammed and on Tom Tom with an orchestra. It's always like so epic to see that. You know, for me, it's like, this is like, I want to do that as well. I did something similar before with the brass band, with only brass instruments. And but this one was like a huge orchestra, and or maybe with the pianists, classical or jazzy pianists, just like stuff that you will never expect is always. I told you in the beginning when I judge, I want to have that wow effect, and something that makes you getting impressed is seeing something, hear something that you don't expect, and or you feel like, will this work? And then you hear it, and it's like, oh, okay, this is really working well, you know. So yeah,
100%. I just watched the TEDx that Tom Thumb did with the Bombay Orchestra. My God, that was one of the craziest videos that I've seen that just came out. He's like, I messaged him last night. I was just like, I watched it because I saw it. He didn't put it on his channel. It was just up on there, and it's barely got any views. So if you are after this podcast too, go and watch the TEDx with Tom Thumb, because he smashed it in Bombay, like smashed the show. But I love seeing that interaction. I love seeing beatboxing being brought outside the box and put into these interesting ideas and interesting areas. And it's just, again, watching one of my favorite videos from you is definitely when you battled that guy Marco in Montreal. I just thought it was so cool because he did stuff where he gets down on the floor and he starts putting in the double time stuff, and you actually just answer it back, and you I could see your mind working for a second, and I don't know if that was acting, but there was one part where you were hitting TKs back to him, or going, and you were hitting it really quickly, and then he just kind of looked at you, and he's just like, all right. But it was just such a fun show to go and watch, and the presentation of it was awesome, and I'd love to see more of that. If you ever put up videos or get more of those performances, put them up, because I think the people need to see this and push the idea of what beatboxing can be pushed and put with and molded with,
Yeah, for sure. It's always fun to work with people that are also creative and share also a passion for something, and you can work with them who also have a passion, and then combine it and having fun creating something. It's just it's the best thing you can do, man.
I fully agree. And speaking of working with other people, producer, not only beatboxing, but fully into your producing, because I could go on about other shows I've seen you in. Actually, before I do that, I have one more thing to bring up that I could go on for a long time, but I want to say 2017 now, 2017 SRF virus world record, 848 noises on a microphone in 1 minute. You're the first person to put that into a mine, recorded, set a world record, set a precedent for people to try to beat. What came up with that idea for you? Where you're just like, did you just look up beatbox records and you're just like, wait a second, this has not been done before, and let me go and put it, because 848 noises in 1 minute. It was crazy to watch. It was crazy to watch, though, again, because I was just like, I remember seeing that back when it happened, but then again, seeing it 3 years later, of being like, or 2 whatever years later, I watched this video back and I'm just like, whoa. But how did that idea come to your mind, and what inspired you to go and try out and start that up? Because it was, again, great idea.
So actually, Peponi wrote me that someone is looking for to set or break a world record, and if I would connect with that person. I was like, yeah, she can write me, no problem. So she wrote me on Facebook, we have this thing in mind. We want to break a world record. What are there some world records in beatboxing? So I was checking out, and I saw like 2 world records. One was the most beatboxer on one spot, beatboxing together.
Yep.
I was like, this will be hard. I don't know. I'm not down with that. And the other record was beatboxing the longest time, like 8 hours, or even longer. I don't know.
It was the.
And I was like,
what's that guy's name?
Wasn't
what's
the
that
Canadian?
guy's name? No. The guy originally who set the record for longest beatboxing was King Homeboy.
Oh yeah. True. Yes.
Yeah, that guy beatboxed forever, and he said that it was like got blisters on his lips and stuff because he beatboxed for so long. That's just insane.
So I was not down with that as well. And I told her, look, I'm known for being a very fast beatboxer. So we can set a new record for something else. And she was like, yeah, that sounds good. What was in your mind? I was like, yeah, like so many sounds in 1 minute. And then I tried out what will be realistic. And I came to the conclusion, okay, every time I tried it out, I was between 820 and 920, or 950. And then I said, we can make set a record more than 800 sounds in 1 minute. I have to pass 800 sounds in a minute. That was the challenge. And then she was like, yeah, cool, okay. And so I was like, yeah, first thing I was looking for was the technique to use. I looked through different techniques and I came with a simple technique, which is, and I took that technique. The hardest part was definitely the air. The air was crazy. I in the first week I could not made it to 1 minute without breathing. So I was looking into making how to make your lungs more, giving more volume, you know. So I went swimming a lot in this I had 2 weeks time. I went swimming a lot of times, like every day swimming. I made breathing exercises, and it helped a lot. In like 2 weeks, my breath was much bigger than it used to be. And yeah, then I had the technique, I had the air, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready. Then we went to the radio station. We went there. I was standing in front of the microphone, and then they was like, okay, let's go. And then I beatboxed for 1 minute. And there was one thing I was the most scared of. It was not the technique. It was not the breathing. It was getting a dry mouth. This was the most I was scared of, because I knew that if you're a little bit nervous, you know, you're getting a little bit dry mouth, and this is exactly what happens. So after 40 seconds, my mouth gets so dry, like really dry. But I try to force myself to make the sounds through the dryness, and you can see it in my face. If you watch that video, you can see it in my face. Yes. I was like, oh no, my mouth is so dry. And I tried to make it through, and then 1 minute was done. I was like, oh, I hope I did it over 800, because my mouth was so dry. It slowed me down as well. And then then they sent the audio file to that guy who checks if it's good or not. And then he counted it. He slowed it down. He slowed it down to 10 times slower.
Yeah,
which made it 10 minutes for one session. He had to listen to it 3 times, and then he counted it with every sound, right? And after 40 minutes or 50 minutes, he called and he was like, "Yeah, you did it. 848 sounds in 1 minute." And I was like, I wished, because I knew I've done 900 many times, you know.
Yeah,
I wished it would be more, but you know, and I know there are other beatboxers that are faster than me. Let's be serious. But for me, it was not about being the fastest. It was like more having something for other beatboxers to go at it, you know, like being the first. Okay, it's set, it's done. Now everyone else can try and do as fast as you want to go. So this was my intention at the end of the day, because I felt like, okay, I know I'm not the fastest beatboxer, but I'm pretty fast, and I can set a good amount of sounds in a minute, and from there on, beatboxers can try to make it faster.
Yeah, and that was a cool thing to go and watch back, though, because I'm sure that there's people that have tried to break it by now, or have sat there and done it, but you actually had the forethought to go and be like, what else is there? There's the longest lasting beatboxer, there's the biggest ensemble of beatboxing. What's something that I can add to this to go and just every time one of those things happens, I feel like the reputation of beatboxing and the way that people view it, it just gets a little more serious each and every time, because it's like, okay, there's world records behind this, and it just establishes it more and more. So that's definitely something that before I get into your producing, which I'm going to now, that's something I just wanted to bring up for a second, because I thought it was just a cool thing that I reminded myself watching that video back. But producing, when did you start producing? And did you go to school for producing? Did you ever have formal training for it, or is that again just like the music and the beatboxing something you just learned? And was it before that you started beatboxing that you were a producer, or did beatboxing lead you to producing? Just give me a little bit of a rundown when you started it.
I actually started producing like a year after beatboxing, 2 years. I used to rap back then as well. And because I was a rapper, I also wanted to make beats. I don't know. I just came across that program software called Fruity Loops. I downloaded it, and you could create beats, and it was fun. And I rapped over it, and then it got lost a little bit, and beatbox was more serious. I didn't really produce anymore, and then how old was I? 2006, 2005, 2006. I met some other people that do rap as well, and a friend of mine, he had like MPC kind of thing where you create sounds, and yeah, we played a lot around with it in his home. A lot of friends came there and they were rapping, and we made beats on spot. And like 2007, I think it was, we managed to get into a studio, into a room to build a studio.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was the only one who was a little bit experienced, and another friend with making beats, we were the guys at doing that and also recording. So I started then making more beats and also recording the friends when they wanted to record something. I was at the same time, hitting the record button, and the vocals were on the beats. And it started from there. And I really, producing was the same. Like beatboxing is like creating music, and I really enjoy to create music on spot, and also see the reactions from the people. In beatboxing, you see the people reacting like, "Whoa, that's so nice!" And also with beats was kind of similar. My friends were like, "Oh, okay, the beat is nice," and I knew, okay, they like it. I have to work more on it, getting better. And I enjoyed making beats, and this is how I get into making beats. And then later, mixing, recording, and mastering also came very important, which is now my main income and my main thing that I do. And this is how I got into producing. And
and that's something that, like, you have a long list of songs, clients that you've worked with, people that you've produced songs for. You've rapped on songs, you've sung the hooks on songs. I found a few that you were doing kind of that 50 Cent style, almost that singing of a hook but still rhyming and making it like that. It was dope. And some of them that I was going to ask about specifically, and I've said the name a few times, but Dopepox. Was your crew that was that the crew that you were working with back then when you started up, and kind of it was just a bunch of guys that were rapping, you were making the beats, then you were also adding beatboxing into it, producing it, and doing that. And is that kind of like a starting point into your producing career? As you just stated that's exactly what it was. But do any of those guys still perform and do stuff that because the only guys I've seen, I might be getting names wrong, but Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I've been seeing that you've been doing, that you've produced songs for, and seemingly they've done well. I'm not sure if the charts that you said, because some of them went to album wise. One guy maybe not, but Mimics.
You did. Yeah.
You worked with him, and his songs went #1, or his album went #1. Is that on a Swiss channel or a Swiss charts that you would have?
So I started with Dopepox for sure. This is my crew back then when I started making beats. We were like 6 or 7 people. I was the only producer. No, another guy, Remix, he was also making beats.
Mm.
But And yes, I also was rapping a little bit, but I always struggles with writing. I'm not patient enough to writing songs, you know. It's because I'm way too technical. I'm starting to get way too technical when I write. It's the beatbox thing, you know. You're starting to make this A B B A stuff, and from behind, in front, and very technical. It gets very technical when I try to write, and then get frustrated because my vocabulary is not the biggest. And I was more focused on producing, and also I had most of the times I had a lot of ideas with melodies. Even to this day, when people come to my studio and record, I have a lot of, even if they struggle with melodies, I'm like, yo, try this. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, then, you know, I like to work with in this kind of style as well. And so this was my first step in creating music, and they definitely pushed me to be very creative, you know, because I had a group where I can share music with, you know, and this was definitely a big push for me. And later on I start to work with other people's. Definitely the world champ title helped me a lot to connect with other artists, because I met them and I was like, yo, by the way, I make beats.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, show me. And this is how I connected with a few artists. And Mimix was 2 times on #1 or 3 times. His debut album was on #1. I worked on with Stress from the French part of Switzerland. Is a huge rapper. He was also #1. Steph Lachef charted with her last album on #4 or #3. I'm not remembering. I also worked with her on a song. And and also a little bit international. In Germany, I worked with a few artists. In the States, I'm working with a up and coming rapper called D-Banks. He has huge numbers on Spotify. And
And is there a range of stuff, the way that you produce music, like the beats that you produce specifically and make, you know, it's such a wide range. It's not all just like heavy this thing or just this one thing that you kind of keep yourself in the bubble like that. You go and do all sorts of stuff. And like I remember, what was the one that I listened to, that Small Talk album for Sad. You had one.
Yeah.
There's one part there where it was cool video. Like they're all in like military gear, and all of a sudden you're just kind of pop in and you're beatboxing. But the way it sounded when it was put in there was just very, very cool to hear. Just that being put out there because you didn't expect it. It was something where I was just like, whoa, wait a second. Oh shoot, he's right there, you know? But then going forward from that and hearing what you started doing with that guy Max Urban, and that was some cool stuff too, man. Like I believe, what was it? The song, quote unquote, favorite group was the song, and it was featuring this guy Samurai. And you go and get that song, it's on the radio and it's being played, and then you start doing shows with him as well, where you did those live shows on Joyce or something like this. Joyce TV. But you do this live thing where you're beatboxing and you're doing covers of songs and doing original stuff as well. But like the opportunity to go and again bringing it back to the idea of working with different people and making something unique. It's so interesting that you get that not only as a live performer, but you get to actually work on songs and get these ideas out and that creativity out in such an interesting way. So I was going to see, you said you're working with a guy D-Banks from the States. Is there any other projects you have? Because people obviously right now, I think, are spending a lot of time being creative at home and having this opportunity to work on stuff. So is there other projects that are coming out soon, or stuff that you want to go and say that, you know, you'd like to? Obviously you can say the biggest names in the history, right? So that's kind of a silly question, but I mean, if there are other stuff that's in the pipeline that you're like, oh, okay, this is someone that I'm working with currently, that there's some good, so interesting, some of the stuff I found.
Yes. Well, I have a good manager in LA that is looking for me to find cool placements. Who is also the manager of D-Banks. That's why I'm happy to work with him. He knows other producers that that have huge records with other big artists from the States, and connecting with these guys as well. So it's getting somewhere there. And in Switzerland, I try to work more as an artist as well, not just as a producer behind. Try to make whole EPs or albums with one artist, and then it's a project of us together. Like, like you are the rapper, Scott Jackson is the rapper, and it's a Scott Jackson and Zede project, but I just do the album, And I do this now with some artists in Switzerland that are in the hip hop scene well known, and I also do this, of course, to get my name out a little bit, so people can see that I'm doing beats, but not only beats, also the mix and mastering aspect, so people see what I'm doing and what I'm capable of doing, and this is definitely something I like to make more, like working on whole projects with artists and releasing it as a project together. Kind of like DJ Khaled does. But I do my own beats and being more present as a producer and more in the background. And yeah.
100%. And you obviously, another one that all beatboxers should know, or if they don't, they should go back and look at from 2011, Beatbox for Life with the clips.
Yes.
Clap that up. That was such a cool thing to go and see, and it's I wish that I gotta go and start. Someone's got to start up a page. I really want someone to go and start up either like a Facebook page or a Instagram page, just posting up all the classic stuff that people might have forgotten about. Like beatbox history or something like that, and even further back. But that's something that I would love to see for the new generation, to see the idea of making a song and making a track. And some people are doing that now, where they're building stuff, and you can see different projects that people are making, not just routines that they put out, but like collaborate with a beatboxer, collaborate with somebody and put out an actual track that's produced, and have fun with it, rap on it, sing on it, put that hook on it, because they don't gotta be so serious all the time. But that was a dope track, like just to go watch and be like, yeah, you guys are putting it out.
Yeah, that was definitely fun to work with clips. Yeah, that's cool.
Is there any other beatboxers that you're thinking of that you would in the future be like, that's someone that's doing, like a guy? We got a guy here who goes Haste. His original beatbox name was Haste in Canada, and he just did a track with Thomas Zachary that he's going to be putting out later on. But Thomas Zachary has been crushing it too. So shout outs to him. Shout outs to Trippy Hippie. You guys have been crushing it. But like, seeing these things where people to come together through beatbox world, and all of a sudden take that outside and use it to make music together and produce something. Like I'd love to see more of that happening in the world again, because how else would a guy from Chile know a guy from the East Coast of Canada for them to make a collaboration? And then if with these things happening, I'd love to see more of that happen. So is there anybody that that's currently making music that you're like, that'd be cool to get an opportunity to work with them in the beatbox scene specifically?
Definitely. If I ever will release like an album, like a CeDe album, I definitely have some beatboxer in mind. Like I would love to work with Gene. It's very incredible artists. I would love to work with Amit. I think he's an incredible rapper. And who else? Yeah, because I also, of course, see a lot of beatboxers are making music as well. Like Hiss is putting out music.
Absolutely.
And other, Inky as well, also putting out music. So they're doing the right thing, And definitely, I have them in my eyes, So. Of course, I see what they do, and if I ever come to a point where I feel like, okay, I want to try something, I will definitely hit a few of them and see what we can do, for sure. I would love to work with other beatboxers on the production side as well, for sure.
I think I think the beatbox world would love to see that because again, I've been loving some of the things that came out. Like Ahmet, you say he put out that EP, Small Room, and
It's
that
incredible.
was that was so dope to go and listen back to. I was like, whoa, and the production in it with Gene and Chris that they came together to go and do that together, and it's just projects like that is just it's beautiful to go and see it come together and actually go out. So if you're watching, start on your artistry, diversify yourself and see what comes of it, because you've also been up for awards in Switzerland for top producer. I was trying to look it up all over the online thing, but I couldn't find the results, so I'm unsure. But is that something that you've been a few different times been up for the top producer or top artistry when it came to these production in Switzerland itself? Is there stuff, excuse me if I don't know this because I couldn't find it online. I found the competition, but then the results I didn't find out. So this is actually a surprise for me. Let me see if you go and tell me yes, no, there's stuff that you are trying to go and be like, I'd love to go and win this producer award.
To be honest, no, I don't really give a fuck. For me, it's like, who is the best producer in Switzerland? It's a hip hop, the biggest hip hop magazine in Switzerland called Lyrics. They do an event every year where they nominate producers, artists, like rappers, best solo song, best, all this award stuff. Yeah. But more in the hip hop genre. And I got nominated 2 times, 2016, 17 or 17, 18, I don't remember. And no, I didn't win both of them, because there are, of course, other producers in Switzerland who are very active and very good as well. And of course, producers who deserved it at that time more, because they do more stuff than they did more stuff than I did at this time. But being nominated is just like, okay, wow. At least in Switzerland, I'm getting seen as a producer who takes it seriously, So I got nominated 2 times. I didn't win anything, but for me, it's like I don't have to win anything in this particular thing. I like to work with artists. I love to make music. Of course, if you win something like this, it's cool. I mean, you made best producer of the year, and you will definitely have more attention. But I don't like to work on this kind of stuff. I just do stuff without any pressure. I don't want to set myself in a pressure. Okay, next year I want to win this awards, and then you don't win it, and for me it's like I'm over that stuff,
Yes.
So yes. I take it more easily. I just do my stuff and try to enjoy it, and without any pressure or whatever, And the last 2-3 years I was not was more focused on mixing and mastering than making beats or excuse me.
I lost your picture.
Yes. It should be back again. Yeah. Okay.
All right, we're back.
Yeah. So yeah. I definitely try to just make music, man, and not being distracted by any kind of nominations or awards.
That's a good way of doing it, because you might get caught up, and then you're producing what other people quote unquote want to hear, or what you think other people want to hear, less of what you actually want to go and do. So you have a crazy catalog already of stuff that you've worked on over the years, and I'm not going to go and yell out all these names, but I found literally I have pages of stuff that you've worked on. So just so you know, just because I was looking it up, trying to make sure that I was looking up and seeing the stuff you did. But one other thing too is we got what is it? ZedeBeats.com. Am I trying to go and make sure I say this correctly? Zede Music. ZedeMusic.com. If you guys are watching right now and you need something mixed, mastered, you want something produced, you want to work on something, check it out, because he's been putting up you can go there and get a one-stop shop. He'll go and work with you and get these things figured out. But also you can check out his work because you've been putting up on a new YouTube page that you put up in 2014 starting. You're up to like 42 or 43 beats, and they're all like this style of beat or check this style of beat, just to give an example of stuff that you've done. And like, how long does it, like, because there's one video that I found too of 2000, I think it was 9, where it was you creating a beat, and it just said showing Zede create a beat, and it shows you the process of you building something, and you might have had an idea going into that, you know, what you were shooting. But how long does it take you normally? I guess it all varies, but is there kind of a thing where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go make a beat right now, and does it take you 4 hours, 6 hours, 2 days, 3 days, I guess, to go and, like, what's that process for you of making an actual beat if you're just gonna go and, you know, make it before even thinking about anybody else being on it, just making it, you know?
It takes me around 1 hour to 3 hours. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'm very vibing on the beat, and it takes me a long time because I'm really into the zone, or I'm struggling with the beats. Then it takes longer as well. But sometimes it also goes quick. I'm not a producer who has like 15 minutes for a beat. Some producers can do that. For me, it's like I like to take my time for a beat, so it sounds the way I want it to sound it. And around 1 to 3 hours, depends.
Yeah, well, so again, and that's what's your YouTube channel for that specifically, the beats that you're putting out?
Yeah, it's, hold on, I'm not really sure, man. YouTube, there's CeDe Music. Is it CeDe Music? Yeah, it's CeDe Music, yeah. CeDe Music.
Again, anybody that's a rapper that's listening, someone else that's a singer, someone that was looking for beats, go check him out. He got himself a portfolio up there, and you can go and get yourself some beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good stuff. But yo, man, right now we've been talking for a good long while. We've gone through your battling, your intro. We've been talking about you producing beats. We've been talking about the beatbox scene in general. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys been watching. We're going to get into a part where I'm going to go and start asking you some questions, right? And these questions are going to be called rapid fire. What's going to happen here is I'm going to ask you some questions in a rapid fire format. So I'm going to ask you questions very quickly. There are going to be only a few of them, and I want you not think about it too much. I just want you to give your answers that come up right away, okay?
That's right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Coming at you live and direct, beyond the beats. This is Rapid Fire with my friend Zede. Coming at you live and direct. First and foremost, an easy one. Who is your favorite solo beatboxer currently?
Kohi.
Ooh. Who is your favorite looper?
Ooh. Brass.
Very good. Who is your favorite tag team?
Unity.
What's your favorite overall team?
Ooh. Very one.
Which is your favorite Street Fighter character?
Oh, it's Akuma.
Which Street Fighter character would best describe your beatbox style, though?
Rio or Akuma.
What's the biggest game of poker you've won?
4.5K.
What's the most hated hand in poker for you?
Oh, it's 7-2. 7 deuce.
What's the biggest bust you've ever had for a poker head?
Oh, it was like on a sit and go, like $500 in one hand.
What did you lose to on that head?
What did I lose on that hand? It was a big bluff, and I fucked that up.
Is chess a sport or a game?
Ooh, no, it's both.
If you had to answer only one of the options.
Okay. Well, then for me, it's a game. For me personally.
And last but not least, oh, I already said that question. Darn it, I gotta think of one right now. Favorite topping on pizza?
Oh man, Mushroom.
Favorite style of sushi?
It's hard because I'm vegan now. You know, it used to be different stuff. I don't eat sushi that much anymore. So.
All right, then last question as a vegan. What do you like to grill on a barbecue?
Vegetables, man. Mushrooms with oil and salt and other stuff of vegetables. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was coming at you live and direct. And Maddox is telling you that next time you're in Berlin, he has to take you to vegan sushi. That's been kind of a theme of this show. Everybody that's on, he's trying to message and putting it out there and saying, you got to go to this vegan sushi. And you know what? I enjoy meat and I enjoy fish and all these other things, but I will definitely be down at one point to go and try this. You guys can show me the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, right there.
Rapid fire.
Just happened. Next up, we got a couple questions from
my friend Papuni.
Has a few questions for you. So first of all,
My friend Papuni
wants to know a few things from you. But before we do this, because we did this afterwards, last interview, we did this with Trung and Chihuahua. I want to see, can you guess who these voices are before we go into it? I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to think about it. I'll play each one so you can hear it out. Whose voice is this one?
My friend Papuni.
Ooh, this
My
is
friend Papuni.
MB14? No, BBK.
Oh,
Yeah, BBK.
BBK.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he is 1 for 1. Who is this?
My friend Papuni.
Oh, British. Has to be Reeps. Is it Reeps? No.
My friend Papuni.
My friend Paponi. My friend Paponi.
My friend Papuni.
I don't
My friend
know.
Papuni.
Last one. I'll give you one
Dilo?
more shot.
Dilo?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, he almost got it, though. He almost got it. That was Codfish.
Oh, okay. I thought it was British. I thought I had a British accent.
On the plus side, you did better than Trung and Chihuahua, though. You got one of them right off there in one guess without any hints. So congratulations. I'm going to be changing this up for the next week to go and give this challenge to the next people. You're the first person to go through that. So, questions from
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
wants to know, first of all, what do you think about the current Swiss scene?
It's getting better. It's getting definitely better. Like I said, there was a time where I didn't really felt like there were a lot of good beatboxers. Of course, we had like a few good ones, but as soon as I went to a battle and I see the scene, I was like, okay, we need to step it up a little bit. So I think and I hope to have someone that gets in my footsteps, man. I want to have a new Swiss world champ. Let's do this.
Yes. All right.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to know also, he has a question.
My friend Papuni.
Would like to ask you, who would you love to battle from the past and who would you like to battle from the new school currently?
Who I would like to battle from the past, I think I would battle Reeps One again. Just because I was not happy with my with myself, and also to give him a revenge against me.
Okay.
And in the future, it's going. I don't know. I would like to battle. I would like to battle like oh, it's so hard. So I just try to see beatboxers that I have in mind that will be interesting from the future. Someone like a Collapse will be interesting. Or yeah, someone who has also a technical, someone who gives me a reason to push myself because I know it's going to be hard. Someone like Collapse will be interesting. Alexinho will be interesting. Any world champ will be interesting, to be honest. Yeah.
I like these answers. I'd love to see those battles. I'll ask you one more question here.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to know that. He goes, this is less of a question. He just wants me to tell you, the Marians are a beautiful family, and they have always gave him so much respect. Even back in the day when Papuni was a shy beatboxer that had nothing to say really and just was watching you guys do your thing. He is so proud of what you've achieved. He is grateful to call you a friend. And even though sometimes you're far away and you're not that close because of the space in between in your country, he wants to let you know that he loves you. And he also wants to say that you're always welcome and a guest at his home, always and forever. And he says your brother as well, he loves you. So one more time.
My friend Papuni.
Basically just wants to say he loves you. But he wants to go and ask you one more question about the Swissbeatbox scene again. He says with legends like Nino G, with you, your brother, Camaro, Claudio, Kumar, Funkastek, and many more, Steph the Chef, for examples, and Swissbeatbox obviously being such a forehead. What do you think about how would it be hard, or would it be in the future when things get back to relative normalcy? Do you think there's a chance that you guys can get together more often and have more events in Switzerland? Would you ever have a battle in your city?
If I would, it's something. It's hard to predict the future, but definitely. First of all, Peponi, man. For me, Peponi is one of the greatest person I've ever met. I love him to death, and he also shows me a lot of respect, and I show him a lot of respect, and yeah, he gives me so much love. It's incredible. This guy is really awesome, for sure. So thank you, Peponi, and love goes back. And having a battle in my city, I don't know. Maybe I also thought in the past about maybe organize something, but you know how it is. It's always about sponsors and getting things going, which is something I'm not really good at it, or I never tried. Let's say that. And yeah, man. I mean, me and Peponi, if there are any possibilities, we try to see us. And yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to see it. And so if there was opportunities, you guys would like to meet up more and bring the Swissbeatbox scene closer to go and get those next world champions growing in the soldier ranks, as you were saying. All right. Last question from
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni
wants to know this. He goes, would you consider ever being part of a beatbox crew one day? And would you ever consider an all Swiss beatbox crew?
I don't think so. As I said before, the thing with my brother, it's kind of similar. I'm more like a solo. If it's about beatboxing, I'm more try to do my own thing. I'm very open for ideas. Let's say it like that. If it's a really good idea and a very good like a good idea behind the project, then yeah, why not? But it's a lot of time consuming. You know, you have to go together and rehearse and have ideas and like I said, if someone has an idea I don't like and he don't likes my idea, I don't like this kind of situation. So I rather in beatbox wise, I rather would like to do my own stuff. Only maybe if it's really an artist I really want to work with, or I really like to make something together. But even then, it has to be a very clever idea or project. So yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are questions from my friend Papuni right there. Much love to Papuni. And actually, just a follow-up question for myself. I saw you 2008, you got a chaos pad. You started doing a little bit of chaos work just in passing. as producer, since you're used somewhat to going having machinery being added to it, do you ever work with the RC505 and work with Loopstation stuff? Is that something that interests you, and would you ever consider practicing that and battling in that aspect whatsoever?
I used to have a Chaos pad, but I sold it right afterwards because I realized it's not my cup of tea, and it still isn't Loopstation. And I used to work with Max Urban on the Choice TV. I also used Loopstation, but very basic. I used it on a very basic type. And no, it's nothing for me. It's fun to play around with it, but it's again something you really have to learn and rehearse to really be good at it. And because I've seen a lot of people are already good at it, and it will take me a long time to be good at it as well, I don't even start it. Because most of the time when I want to start something, I want to be the best at it. As stupid as it sounds, for me this is always a motivation thing. And so because Loopstation is fun, but definitely not something I would take seriously.
You don't really. You saying you want to be the best at something doesn't really make you sound Swiss. No, I'm joking. You guys are always trying to go and do something the best, whether it's Swissbeatbox, Swiss watches, and all this stuff. Every time I've been to Switzerland, it's always how very Swiss of you to say that. That's a very Swiss answer.
But I don't mean it like arrogant. It's always been a part of me to bring the best out of me. And if I already see people are so fucking good at it, and I need to like spend so much time to get on this level, for me it's I don't want to put a lot of time.
Oh no,
because I get frustrated otherwise.
I get it. It's just funny the way that answer just kind of was like, it's a very Swiss answer. I don't want to do it unless I'm going to be the absolute best. Very good. All right. We got 2 next sections left here. People have been watching, and we've had a bunch of people watching throughout it. A lot of different people. I saw countries being mentioned in the comments. All these different countries that are out there. I'm not going to start mentioning, or else I'll forget them. And then someone's like, "Well, you didn't shout mine out." So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. But this is question the audience. Questions from the audience. First of all, what is your favorite thing to do if you're not beatboxing?
Being in the studio, making music, making beats, or going outside with friends on the river with the boats, chilling. These are the stuff I enjoy. Enjoying life.
I like that. Good answer. And what is another question from the audience? What's your favorite sound right now to do? What's the sound that you're working on that you like doing?
The favorite sound I like to do is fart sounds that Alexino does a lot, like them. I just like to play around with that sound. I just discovered it recently, and I actually got not good at it a little bit. So I like to play around with that fart sounds. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Absolutely. You can see in your face as soon as you started doing that and talking about it. You got that smile. That's the beginning of something good. I can't wait to see where you do with that sound. Another question from the audience. They want to say, question to you is, what is the best method for avoiding dry mouth whilst beatboxing, in your opinion?
I think drinking water is actually not a good thing to do. For me, every time I drink water, my mouth gets more dry because the spit goes away. I think eating banana is a good thing. I heard eating banana, something with honey. I don't eat honey anymore, but yeah, honey is a good thing. I think lemon in water is also a good thing. Drinking with lemon in water. Yeah, that's what I heard works, and sometimes it worked for me as well.
I like that. Ish. Question actually not just from the audience, but from Maddox himself. He wants to know, how do you live your life as a vegan? Why did you do that?
It's actually not that hard as a lot of people think. I want to live my life as a vegan, I have my own life. I just eat different kind of stuff, or I avoid certain stuff. Let's say it like that. And why I started it, it's because I made my research. I realized certain things are not okay that I didn't realize before, and also some health benefits I had some issues with tiredness, and I tried out veganism or plant-based diet, and I realized, okay, I'm not that tired anymore. It kind of works, and of course, ethical. What we're doing with the mass productions is fucked up. And first, I just wanted to try it, but at the end of the day, I kept being on plant-based diet. And my hardest part was giving up cheese. Meat wasn't that bad, but the mozzarella on the pizza or the parmesan on the pasta was a big thing to give up. But there are good alternatives these days, so it's not that hard anymore. And yeah, I'm feeling better as never before, man. It's really good.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna have to send a message to you and Maddox, and you can give me some ideas of a few days a week, start off and try some plant-based stuff and see how it goes. You never know. You can try it. I'm open to everything. All right, another question, last question from the audience. Hush. Coming at you live and direct right here. They want to know. The last question they had is, what is your favorite current music to listen to aside from beatboxing? If you listen to a style of music, if there's one style that sticks out in your mind in your current mood today.
I listen everything. I listen not only to hip hop, I listen to classic music. Ryuichi Sakamoto is a huge composer from Japan who makes incredible jazzy classical music. I love to, of course, I listen a lot of hip hop, old to new, everything. Right now, I discovered a few months ago Jacob Collier, which is an incredible artist from the UK. Like, bro, what he's doing with the harmonics. He's like a harmonic nerd. He's such a nerd in creating harmonics on the heaviest, most difficult level that you can make on jazz harmonics, which are incredible hard to do. And this is also very inspiring. And he also produces everything by himself. He records everything. He mixes everything by himself. And he's like a genius. And this is a lot of inspiration for me. And his music is also incredible. So you should check out this guy, Jacob Collier. And he also won 2 Grammys this year or last year. So he's definitely and right now I enjoy the most to listen and get inspired.
A couple Grammys, no big deal. All right, those are questions from the audience. Great, they're live and direct here on Beyond the Beats. So, I hope have you had a good time? Have you a good time talking? Good time chatting?
Yeah, you asking me or are you asking the chat?
Oh, I'm asking you.
You're asking me?
Yeah,
bro, it was incredible. It's also for me. It was very nice to go back to what happened, because I forgot a lot of things, of course, and you reminded me that this actually happened. So it was very, very fun to talk with you about all this kind of stuff, and so people also can see a little bit more from my side and from my life, and yeah, it was definitely fun.
Well, I'm happy you came on, but it is the time and place that I'm going to go and ask you if you're ready, because people have been asking the entire time like they always do. Do you feel like dropping some beats for the people out there that are watching currently, tuned in, and they'll be watching this later on? Do you have some beats and you can go and give some energy to, even though we've been talking for 2.5 hours here?
Yeah, bro, I can try. I mean, we talked now a lot. I don't know if I can bring out the the best now, but yeah, I can drop some beats for sure.
All right, well, get some water and you do what you need to do for a quick second. If you're getting ready, he's getting ready. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you've been watching Beyond the Beats. We're on episode 13. If you like this video, make sure that you guys give a thumbs up to it. Go and put some comments in. Say what you think about it. Say what you think we want to see else on this show. Beyond the Beat, Swiss Beatbox official podcast, right here live with the Beatbox champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Give it up. Zede. Yo, you're about to go and smash it. I say the 3. Y'all say the 2 and the 1. Show them what that... Come on, kill it in 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Zede, Beatbox champion of the world.
Thank you very much.
Yo, God of the TKs, slapping up some beats right now. Representing for Switzerland, right here, Beyond the Beats. If you guys want to, make sure that you guys go check out the social medias he has. Go support him. If you're an artist looking for some producing to be done, some recording to be done, some beats to be had, yo, go on, check out zedemusic.com. Get all the stuff you need right there. And before we jump off, yo, Zede, is there anything you'd like to say? Anything else that I've missed? Anything that you want to go and leave the people with that are watching right here, Lav?
Just want to say thank you again to Swissbeatbox for the invitation. It was very fun to talk, and also thank you, Scott, for talking to, and you made a good research, and you did a good job. And to all the beatboxers out there, keep going and be patient. It's very important in beatboxing, and don't let anyone telling you bad, you shit, or whatever. Ignore that stuff. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Right back into it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, episode 13, we got Zede. Thank you for coming on, man. Much respect, much love to you. I'm excited to see your projects coming out. I'm excited to see more music come out that you're putting out there. I'm excited to finally go and see you in person, give you a handshake and a hug, because I can't wait for the next event to go and see you live, brother. It's always good to go and hang out with you. Yeah, man. Beyond the Beats. Go and tell your family, friends, anybody that wants to watch us every Sunday, coming at you live and direct right here on the Swiss Beatbox YouTube channel. Sometimes I can go and say that and put it back, right? All these different things. What you gonna do? Ladies and gentlemen, you had a good time today. That's what I like to hear. Yes. Coming at you live and direct right here. Subscribe. 1 billion views on Swissbeatbox. It all started right here with this man. The first videos were Zede. Remember that. Coming at you live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Thank you for being honored, brother. Much love to the SBX team. Let's go and make 1 billion into 2 billion. Spread that beatbox around the world. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Scott Jackson, Beyond the Beats. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And with that, I'm going to say, Esh. Give it up. And that's time.